Shalom Aleichem Internet. My name is Rabbi Sander Gajzinski, and here is the weekly TorahByte Coronavirus Edition. The world is in incredible upheaval right now. World populations are looking to their leaders. World leaders are looking to the medical experts, and medical experts are looking at each other. And there are by far more questions than there are answers. In the meantime, the entire world is on lockdown. There are no flights anywhere. Streets are empty. Town squares are empty. Arenas are empty. Streets are empty. And everybody's looking for just a little bit of advice. What do we do and how do we do it? The Alter Rebbe, the first Chabad Rebbe, was very fond of saying, as medaf leben mit der Zeit, one has to live with the times. And what he meant by that was that in order to stay abreast with current events, don't look in the Washington Post, don't look in the New York Times, don't look on the news websites, but rather look at the weekly Torah portion. Because the Torah is eternal, the eternal word of God, which means in the Torah portion of the week, you will find insight about whatever it is that is affecting us during this particular point of time and this point of history, more than any other source. And so, fascinatingly, when the one consensus across the entire world is that this is a time for social distancing, for everybody to be on lockdown and to disengage from their neighbor, from their friend, from the stranger, just stay away from each other, that this week's Torah portion is called Vayakhel, and he gathered them together. This is Moshe about to give a command to the Jewish people, and as he always does, he gathered them together in order to give them the command, and yet it's never mentioned this part of the process that Moshe gathers them, except here. And this becomes the name of the Torah portion, and he gathered them together. So amazingly, this week is the week where the Torah portion is, and he gathered them together. And it's perhaps teaching us an extremely important message and lesson, that while we are engaged, and necessarily so, in social distancing, this does not have to be a time in which our relationships and our coming together is weakened, but in fact, the opposite. Because while we are disengaging primarily from coworkers and from the stranger, etc., we are actually in a situation where we're spending a lot more time together with those that we care about most. Our spouses, our children, our household. On average, we get to spend 1/3 of our waking hours with those that we love most. And now we get to spend all of our waking hours with them. And it actually is oftentimes difficult. If anybody's been reading what everybody's posts on social media and all the various memes about the fact that one of the most difficult things that is happening right now is trying to figure out how to live with those that we love. And this is a perfect opportunity to gather together, to learn how to spend time with our children, even when they are fighting and squabbling because they've been in the house for 10 hours straight. Learn how to talk, to engage, to educate our children, learn how to sit down and relate and converse with our spouses, learn how to work together as a family, to nurture together as a family. And for those that are outside of our immediate sphere, those that could benefit from interaction with us, let's take a moment to appreciate that no point in history has it been as easy and as accessible for all of us to reach out and instantaneously forge a connection with somebody down the street, in a different city, or across the world, with all the availabilities to us, the live streaming, the video chats, etc., etc. Let us use this incredible moment of upheaval to reaffirm our commitment to being together with those that we are cohabiting with, and with those that we have to have a physical distance. But who says it has to be more than a physical distance? It should not be a spiritual or relational distance, the opposite. We should use this as an opportunity to forge new pathways of connection. And then the Parsha goes on to give us the most potent tool available to us in coming together. And the Parsha says Moshe gathered them and he taught them about Shabbat. Sheshet yamim taseh melacha, uvayom hashvi'i yeh kodesh Shabbat laHashem. That while we do engage in the majority of our time in work and productivity and running, there needs to be a Shabbat. Shabbat where you stop, you elevate yourself, and you focus on what's important. How amazing is it that this Shabbat will be the first time in history when almost the entire world will be 80% observant of Shabbat. 80% observant of Shabbat. Most will not be going to work. You will not be taking in a movie. You will not going to a restaurant, traveling, etc. You're going to be at home. You're going to be at home with family. How about you make an effort to take it to the next 20%? Put away the cell phone, shut down the computer, turn to your family, gather them around the table, have a Shabbat meal, make Kiddush, light the Shabbat candles, take out a Sefer, and learn a little something, and daven. Experience Shabbat, this incredible power to bring yourself closer together with those that you love, and bring yourself closer together with God in heaven. What incredible insight from this parsha as how we can come out on the other end of this, not only healthy, God willing, but having enhanced those most important relationships. Shabbat Shalom and best of health.